In art, subjects from the Bible and ancient Greek and Roman mythology, beautified images, and nature dominate. Genre paintings that Caravaggio was fascinated by were not recognized by the world at that time. His works were considered vulgar and dismissible because he drew inspiration from daily life and accurately represented the images and scenes he saw in reality on the canvas. In his genre paintings, Caravaggio did not touch on serious life topics. The scenes he created did not have profound thoughts, but one with simplicity and sincerity. The oil painting, The Fortune Teller, is such a work. A gypsy girl in a red blouse and white shirt and with a white headscarf is reading the palm of a young man. There is a cunning look in her eyes. The young man is wearing a yellow coat and white shirt, a top hat on his head, his left hand on his hip, and there is a look of distrust in his eyes. The composition of this painting is simple, and the pure and vivid colors form a wonderful color gradation. In Caravaggio's The Conversion of St. Paul, the painting immediately captivates viewers with its highly dramatic scene. Jesus, accompanied by an angel, descends gracefully from the upper right corner of the picture, as if bringing divine edicts from the heavens. A strong light pours down like a waterfall from where Jesus is, illuminating the core area of the painting. In the center of the painting, a frightened horse rears its front hooves, its body twisted, showing extreme panic. This horse takes up a considerable amount of space in the picture. Its dynamic posture not only demonstrates a sense of power but also creates an atmosphere of restlessness. Beneath the horse, Paul's attendant tightly holds a sword, assuming a defensive stance. His expression is tense, as if facing an unknown and huge threat. Undoubtedly, the focus of the painting is St. Paul, who has fallen to the ground. He has a thick beard, and his face is contorted with pain and shock. At this moment, he is covering his eyes with his hands, evidently blinded by the sudden intense light. This gesture vividly conveys the shock and helplessness in his heart. In the face of divine power, he appears so small. In terms of composition, the painting is full of dynamism and tension. The layout of the figures and the horse is not static, but rather intertwined and echoing each other, forming an organic whole. This layout creates a strong sense of movement in the picture, as if the viewer is witnessing a thrilling event unfolding. At the same time, through the arrangement of the foreground figures and Jesus and the angel in the background, the spatial depth of the picture is skillfully created, allowing the viewer to feel an immersive sense of reality. The use of light and shadow is a major highlight of this work. The typical Caravaggio-style chiaroscuro technique is fully demonstrated here. The strong light not only illuminates the main figures and the horse, making them stand out from the dark background, but also endows the painting with a mysterious and sacred atmosphere. The strong contrast between light and dark greatly enhances the drama and tension of the scene, guiding the viewer's eyes to focus on the key elements and strengthening the central theme of St. Paul's conversion. In Judith beheading Holofernes, a thrilling scene unfolds. The main figures in the painting are distinct and highly impactful. Judith, dressed in a bright yellow dress, has firm and powerful arms. She presses Holofernes' head with one hand and swings a sword at his neck with the other, her eyes showing unwavering determination and fearlessness. The maid, Abra, wearing a red robe, tries her best to hold down Holofernes' struggling body to assist Judith, and the two cooperate tacitly. Holofernes, drunk and disoriented, lies half-naked on the bed. His head is controlled, his neck exposed under the sword. His face is filled with pain and shock, and his struggles are in vain. The composition is in an inverted, triangle shape, with Holofernes at the center and Judith and the maid above on both sides. This composition is stable yet full of tension. The focus on the beheading action attracts the viewer's attention, intensifying the visual impact and sense of drama. The postures of the figures create a dynamic effect, making people feel the intensity of the previous conflict and the tense atmosphere. In terms of light and shadow, the painter uses the typical Baroque-style strong chiaroscuro. A strong light from above or the side illuminates the key parts, making them stand out from the dark background, enhancing the three-dimensional and spatial sense, and creating a mysterious and tense atmosphere. In terms of color, Judith's yellow dress and the maid's red robe complement each other, highlighting the female figures and adding vitality and enthusiasm. The white bedsheets and other light-colored items of Holofernes contrast with the dark background and the blood, reflecting his helplessness and vulnerability and highlighting the striking and terrifying nature of the blood. Dark colors in the shadows strengthen the contrast between light and dark, deepening the overall terrifying atmosphere. The details are exquisitely depicted. The muscles and force of Judith and the maid show their powerful strength. The details of Holofernes' beard, eyes, etc. are vivid, reflecting his painful struggle. The texture, luster, and reflection of the sword are detailed, and the realistic portrayal of the blood gives the viewers a strong visual impact. Through wonderful figure building, ingenious composition, unique light and shadow use, harmonious color matching, and delicate details, the painting showcases a stunning artistic charm. Susanna and the Elders are an early masterpiece created by Artemisia Gentileschi in 1610. It not only marks an important starting point in her artistic career but also presents the human conflicts and the situation of women in a classic theme from a unique perspective. In the painting, Susanna is at the center. Her body is contorted, and she hastily uses her hands to cover her private parts. Her face is filled with panic, helplessness, and disgust. Unlike traditional depictions, her posture vividly shows the pain of being violated. Above her head, the two elders look down at her greedily, with ferocious expressions, their bodies leaning forward. This forms a sharp contrast with Susanna's purity. The simple blue sky background focuses the audience's attention on the characters, highlighting the tense relationship. In terms of artistic style, Gentileschi has a highly distinctive approach. The vertical composition places the elders at the top, oppressing Susanna like dark clouds, creating a strong sense of malicious overshadowing. The overall color tone is rather dark. Through the strong contrast of light and shadow, Susanna's fair skin appears even purer, while the elders, hidden in the shadows, have even more ferocious faces. The conflict between good and evil is vividly presented. She realistically depicts the details of the characters. Through delicate expressions and movements, she explores the complex emotions within the characters, demonstrating remarkable psychological realism. This work is closely related to Gentileschi's personal experiences. During the creation, she might have suffered sexual harassment in Agostino Tassi's studio. Susanna's experience is a microcosm of the plight of women at that time. In an era when women were restricted, she used her brush to present a unique female perspective. This painting is of great significance in art history. It showcases Gentileschi's talent, injects new vitality into Baroque paintings. Her portrayal of female images and exploration of character psychology provide valuable reference for later artists, continuously influencing the development of painting art. It inspires more creators to pay attention to women's issues and demonstrate the glory and struggle of human nature. Self-Portrait as the Allegory of Painting, created by Artemisia Gentileschi between 1638 and 1639, is a masterpiece during her stay in the UK. In the painting, the protagonist is generally regarded as Gentileschi herself. She is wearing a green dress and a brown apron. Holding a paintbrush in one hand and a palette in the other, she seems to be leaning against a stone slab for grinding pigments, on which the reflection of her left arm can be seen. Her black hair is slightly disheveled, her eyebrows are arched, and her eyes reveal an imaginative and focused expression. A gold chain around her neck hangs a mask, and the fabric of her clothes changes in color. In terms of artistic expression, this painting has prominent highlights. The composition uses the technique of foreshortening, presenting from a slightly overhead perspective, which endows the painting with a unique sense of space and three-dimensionality. It makes the viewers feel as if they are on site, witnessing the artist's creation. The handling of light and shadow continues Caravaggio's chiaroscuro method. The light focuses on the front of the figure, illuminating the focused face and highlighting the expression. At the same time, the changes in light and shadow show the three-dimensionality and texture of the figure and the clothing. The depiction of details is extremely delicate. The hair, facial expressions, hand movements, and the folds of the clothing are all vivid. The focused eyes, the postures of holding the pen and the palette all demonstrate the painter's concentration during creation. This painting contains profound symbolic meanings. Gentileschi integrates her own image with the allegory of painting, proclaiming her identity as a female artist with recognition and pride, and demonstrating her value in the male-dominated art world. Many elements in the painting have their respective implications. The disheveled hair symbolizes the sacred and fanatical artistic temperament, and the gold chain represents imitation, reflecting her understanding and pursuit of painting art. Self-Portrait as the Allegory of Painting has a far-reaching historical impact. It is a classic work of Gentileschi and also a landmark work of female artists in art history. It showcases the breakthroughs achieved by female artists at that time through their talent and efforts, setting an example for later female artists. Moreover, the techniques used in the painting, such as chiaroscuro and foreshortening, as well as the delicate portrayal of the character's psychological emotions, have influenced the later Baroque and realist paintings, promoting the inheritance and innovation of artistic styles. The Loves of the Gods, painted by Annibale Carracci for the Palazzo Farnese in Rome from 1597 to 1600, is a highly influential series of ceiling frescoes. The work centers around the love stories of the gods, skillfully interweaving numerous plots from Greek and Roman mythology. The images of gods such as Venus, the goddess of love, and Mars, the god of war, are key attractions. Venus showcases the ultimate charm of love and beauty, while Mars appears gentle in the face of love, and their love story runs throughout. There is also Bacchus, the god of wine, surrounded by a crowd of revelers. Through the unrestrained movements of the figures, the joyous atmosphere of the Dionysian festival is vividly presented. Carracci's portrayal of the characters is extremely meticulous. The gods have different expressions, and their postures, expressions, and costumes perfectly match their personalities. The textures of their muscles and skin are delicate and lifelike, endowing these images with vivid vitality. In terms of artistic style, The Loves of the Gods clearly demonstrates a reverence for classicism. The figures possess the beauty of classical sculptures, with elegant postures and distinct outlines. The composition pursues balance and order, with each scene echoing one another, presenting a harmonious and unified overall feeling. In terms of color use, Carracci boldly adopts rich and vivid colors. Gold is used to depict the radiance and costumes of the gods, highlighting their nobility, while soft colors outline the delicate skin of the female gods. The clever contrast and coordination of colors greatly enhance the visual impact of the painting. In terms of spatial representation, by virtue of the exquisite perspective method, a sense of upward, extending space is created. The size and distance relationships between the figures and the scenes are handled reasonably, constructing a world of the gods with depth and three-dimensionality, making the audience feel as if they are on the scene. The Loves of the Gods holds a pivotal position in art history. As a classic work in the early days of Baroque painting, it has set a model for the decorative and dramatic aspects of the Baroque style. Its magnificent artistic style and grand narrative scenes have provided abundant inspiration for later Baroque painters in creating large-scale murals and depicting mythological themes. At the same time, Carracci's admiration and application of classicism have strongly promoted the revival of classicism after the Renaissance, guiding people to re-emphasize the value of ancient art, facilitating the integration of classical elements with contemporary artistic concepts, and profoundly influencing the development trend of European painting art. Aurora is a masterpiece of Guido Reni, a representative painter of the Bolognese school in Italy in the 17th century, vividly demonstrating the artistic style of the Baroque period. The painting centers around Aurora, the goddess of dawn in Greek mythology, depicting the scene of her driving a chariot speeding through the sky. Aurora is dressed in magnificent attire, with a graceful figure. Her expression is serene and solemn, and her hair fluttering in the wind showcases her elegant demeanor. The horses pulling the chariot gallop powerfully, and behind them are the gods of the hours and others, symbolizing the coming of the day. They echo each other, jointly creating an atmosphere full of hope and new life. In terms of artistic style, Aurora has distinct characteristics. In terms of color application, Reni uses bright and soft colors such as light pink, light yellow, and light blue to precisely capture the subtle color changes of the sky at dawn. Through color gradation, he creates the three-dimensionality and layering of the clouds, endowing the painting with a warm and dreamy atmosphere. In terms of composition, with Aurora and her chariot at the center, the layout of the figures and horses is ingenious, achieving a dynamic balance. The flowing lines outline the robe fluttering in the wind, not only showing the agility of the wind but also adding a sense of movement to the painting. The lines depicting the horses are strong and powerful, highlighting strength and speed. In addition, Reni continues his idealized style, endowing the goddess with a perfect proportion and appearance, integrating beauty, elegance, and divinity, making the work transcend reality and bring about a spiritual sublimation. In the history of art, Aurora holds an important position. As a typical representative of the Baroque painting style, it fully reflects the pursuit of grand scenes, strong emotions, and magnificent decorations in that period, and is a wonderful reinterpretation of classical mythology. Its unique color application, idealized figure, shaping, elegant composition, and line treatment have provided valuable reference for later artists when creating works on mythological and religious themes, inspiring them to deeply explore the formal beauty of the painting and the creation of a sacred atmosphere.